Today's routine is called Exercises to Support Digestion. We're going to do some moves and stretches starting in standing. Then we'll do a few things seated in a chair. From there, moving down onto the mat, and I will review how to safely get down onto the mat. We'll finish back on the chair. Let's get started. So we're gonna just start by taking some deep breaths. So you can bring your hands onto your belly and tune into breath. Thinking about expanding the torso, ribs out to the side, expanding into the back with each big inhale, and then relaxing with the exhale, letting all the air out of the lungs. And just take a few breaths like that. Sometimes if we're in any discomfort from digestive issues, our breathing can be shallow with any kind of discomfort. So just coming back to those nice full breaths to start. And let's take one more full inhale, filling up the lungs. And exhale, relax the shoulders with your exhale. And you can release your hands away from your belly. We can just have a little bit of a bend in the elbows. And we're gonna come into what I call an athletic stance or a little mini crouch. So the hips are just gonna move back a tiny bit as we put a little bend into the knees. So you're just kind of in this position where you can bounce your body. And that's what we're gonna do, just this little tiny bouncing move. I'll show you from the side. We're not lifting the feet at all. We're just kind of bouncing here. And then with that little bend in the elbow, you can just let your arms swing or sway any way that your arms want to move. So with digestive issues, movement is great. It's gonna get blood circulating, things moving in the gut, so great for our gut health. So we're just bouncing here. And as with all of my workouts, this routine as well, just listen to your own body as well. So you may do all of the routine, or as I said before, you could just do certain parts. So we're still taking those nice deep breaths, just with this little bouncing move here. Bonus, we're getting a little bit of leg strength. Let's keep going here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up tall. Now we're gonna march on the spot. So we're thinking about maybe pulling the belly in a little bit, just to engage the core, lifting the chest, standing nice and tall. And then again, we're gonna bring hands onto the belly, and we're just gonna tap. As we're marching, I don't know if this is kind of like rub the belly, tap your head. Anyways, we're tapping the belly as we're marching. And you can move your hands all around. So this little bit of tapping is just gonna help loosen things up in the gut. If there's a particular side where you're feeling a little more discomfort or bloating, you could move your hands more over to one side. And just keep marching, standing tall. And we'll stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got it. Relax your arms down. Let's move into seated. And I recommend a chair that doesn't have armrests, but if you have a chair handy with armrests, we can make that work. So we're gonna come to seated. And let's just come a little bit away from the backrest. So just inch yourself forward, feet down on the floor if possible. And by coming away from the backrest, we're gonna use a little bit more of our trunk strength, so core strength, back strength, sitting up tall. And you can either have your hands holding onto the chair, the sides of the chair, or hands on your thighs. Keeping the torso upright, we're gonna do some knee lifts. So just alternating knee lifts. And sometimes this makes us want to kind of round forward. So just concentrate on that upright spine. Lifting the knees, little bit of lower abdominal work here. Keep it going. Glad you showed up to do this routine with me. Four, three, two, one, and then place your feet down, and we'll stay just a little bit away from the backrest. We're going to reach one arm to the ceiling, and one arm fingertips will reach towards the floor. So we're not side bending. We're keeping the spine nice and upright here, and just reaching the fingertips in opposition. So just opening up the body. Sometimes if we have had any discomfort in the abdominal area, we can kind of like close off that area. We want to really open up and then come back to those big breaths. Just opening the rib cage, making a little more room in the abdominal area. We'll have another breath here. Just reach, reach, reach the fingertips, and then we'll switch sides. Again, we're not side bending, just reaching. The top hand reaching a little more towards the ceiling, the bottom hand maybe a little more towards the floor. And let's have one more breath. And then relax both hands down to your lap. Let's take both hands onto one thigh. And we're just doing a very small turn towards that thigh. So we're not excessively twisting or anything. We just have both hands on one thigh. And maybe your gaze comes a little bit more over to that side. But we're still thinking about nice and tall, the crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. And now we're going to stay here for those breaths. Coming back to the breath really helps the digestion. We want lots of oxygen circulating. And then we'll just bring both hands over to the other thigh. And again, you could just turn your gaze slightly over to that side. Have another breath. Come back to center. And we'll make our way down to the mat. Now, I will review how to get down there and back up. We're going to use this chair that we're sitting on. It doesn't have to be a mat either. You can just get down onto the carpet. So we're going to face the chair. And I like to start by just kind of stepping one toe back, just a little step back, and then keeping the spine neutral without rounding. We're just going to bend into the legs as we bring the hands towards the chair, both hands on the chair, and then you can bring one knee down and bring the other knee down. Now, if this is really, we're going to do one exercise, hands and knees. If this is really uncomfortable for your knees, feel free to have a cushion under your knees as well, or you could fold your mat over for more cushioning. So we're just doing one exercise, hands and knees. Right, so we've got the wrists positioned under shoulders, knees under hips. We're coming back halfway to a child's pose. Again, not rounding the spine. Spine's going to stay neutral. Our head is in line with our spine, so we're not dropping the head down or arching the neck to look forward. And then hips are going to come about halfway towards the heels. And then we come back up to starting position to our, we call this quadruped, where we're on hands and knees. And then hips move halfway back. We're going really slow. And then come back to start. So just going back and forth with a really slow move here. It's like a very slow rocking motion of the body. You can notice, how far back works for you. You might want to go a little bit farther as long as you're keeping that neutral spine. And let's go 2 more. And coming back to hands and knees, we're going to make our way onto our back. So you can come down onto one hip. And if you want, slide your bottom arm out and then roll onto your back. And we'll just arrive here on our back and put the hands on the belly, tune into 1 or 2 more full breaths. Just letting your body sink. The nice thing about getting onto the mat and doing some of these moves and exercises is we're fully supported. So we can just let gravity do the work. We're getting lots of, alignment. Other organs are benefiting from this as well. Okay, so from here, we're going to bring the arms out to a T. So just open your arms, palms face the ceiling, restorative, again, position to open across the chest where we're often tight. And then bring the soles of your feet together to touch and just let the knees open out to the side. So just let the knees flop open, be heavy. This is also a nice stretch for our hips. And we're going to stay here. Just letting the big inhales expand the rib cage out to the sides, expanding it into the back. You can feel that on the mat. And then with each exhale, just release. Just let your arms be heavy. Let your legs be heavy. We'll do 1 more full inhale, exhale. Slowly start to bring your knees up. You can always use your hands to help with that. Lift your knees back up. And then we're going to walk the feet a little bit wider, just a little bit wider than hip width, just towards the edges of your mat if you're on a mat. Keep the arms out to a T, and we're going to just very gently, just a small move. We're not going full range of motion. We're just doing a small move of both knees coming a little more over to one side, through center, a little more to the other side. So very subtle, small, gentle move. So both knees a little over to one side, through center, a little over to the other side, and going nice and slow here. So just kind of opening things up down here in the belly. You could think about inhaling when you're at center and exhale as you move the knees to one side. And let's do 1 more each side. And come back to center and walk your feet back to hip width. We're going to roll onto our side, so let both knees come over to the side. Roll onto your side. We're going to make our way back to the chair. So first we're going to come back to hands and knees. And then make your way close to your chair, hands on the chair. And we're just taking your time, go slow. If you feel any, lightheadedness, that's why we're gonna come straight to the chair. We're not gonna hop up and walk across the room. So hands on the chair, come onto one foot and the other foot, and then we're going straight to seated. And you can sit right back against your backrest, arms just down alongside your body, just hands on either side of the chair. We're going to lift and lower the shoulders a few times. So we're going to lift the shoulders with inhale, and as we exhale, and you can even sigh, just let the shoulders drop. So inhale up, exhale, sigh, inhale up, Exhale, let go. And we'll do that 2 more times. We'll finish with some more breathing. We're going to inhale, arms to the ceiling, and exhale, arms down. We'll do that 3 times. Inhale up. Exhale down. And do that 2 more times. Inhale. Great work. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you again.